Okay.
Okay, we're good.
All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm sure you guys are dying to hear from Tracy LaRosa, but I have to tell you this really cool story. I was out in Hawaii last year, almost a year ago, this time visiting Cassie, and we went to an early morning ripped class that I did not want to go to. And in we walk into this really hot room, and Tracy LaRosa is there with these really awesome guns on her arms. And I was like, this chick is intense.
Take that off.
So she taught us
Take that
this.
dress off.
And I was like, when we left, I was like, Cass, you got to get that girl on our team. She's awesome. I knew Cassie was already friends with her. But then when Tracy became a customer, I was like, oh my gosh, it's only a matter of time. So I pretty much wanted to do backflips when I found out that she had joined our mission, because you guys are going to hear tonight, she's the perfect addition. And, with a move to Germany from Hawaii and seeing her family in between, Tracy has managed to get to the top commission level to sales coordinator in a matter of 4 months. And that is something to be so proud of. I love that she has never had a single excuse when she's talked to us. She's just like, tell me what to do, and she does it. And she's an incredible leader with her team. And looking at, we don't always talk financials in Juice Plus, but I have to tell you that Tracy has treated this like a business, and she's beginning to be paid like a business. In the 4 months she's been in here, I looked, and she only one time paid under $1,000 under the Credit Club. And I think that is incredible to be able to see that. Sorry. So I want that to inspire hope with you guys to see what is it that Tracy is doing. And she, as much as I do think she's a magical unicorn, she is working the business like a business. So Tracy, take it away. Tell everybody what it is that your story and what you've done.
Well, I wish I was a magical unicorn, but thank you for the nice intro. So when Christy asked me to do this, I was like, why do you want me to share? Like, I don't know what I've done. I just have shared my story and, tried to be real about my story. And so then we chatted a little bit more, and I kind of like looked back to how I've been working it. To give you kind of a backstory on me, I actually was approached to join the business probably about 5 years ago. And the gal private messaged me, like we're taught to do, but she completely just vomited like 5 paragraphs of why I needed to be on her team. I don't even think she mentioned Juice Plus, so I didn't really know what she was talking about. And her story was great, but it was just way overkill information, and I just ignored her. So now that people are ignoring me, I know exactly how she felt. But I didn't answer her. And then another friend reached out, and I started on the product with this other girl, and I never heard from her again. I didn't have any customer care. I didn't really know why I was taking Juice Plus. And so it kind of just sat in my pantry. And a couple months later, I canceled my order and I threw it all in the garbage. And like, that makes me so sad now. I threw my Juice Plus away. But that's going to lead me to just my points on just having good customer care. So when I moved to Hawaii, after I'd been there for a while, Cassie was my neighbor. She looks like she's in the sun right now. And I started seeing her on Facebook, and we weren't really friends, but I think we were friends of mutual friends. And so I started kind of watching her story on Facebook, and I really wanted to be her friend. Like, she was having fun, and she's working her business, and she's at the beach. And never once did I recall, like, I knew she was a Juice Plus rep, but it wasn't like she was blaring it. She wasn't pushing product. I was lucky enough to be invited to her mason jar salad prep. And again, I didn't even know that it was connected with Juice Plus. So I wasn't, I didn't feel like anything was being pushed on me, which I loved. And I told her, we talked about this later, we joked, because I really wanted to be her friend, but I'm like 15 years older than her. And I'm like, why would she want to be friends with me? I'm like almost 50 years old, And then she told me that she was intimidated to be my friend. I'm like, this is so stupid. Like, we both were just nervous about the whole thing, and it ended up being a great partnership. But so anyway, I jumped in, I got on the product, I did my research, and absolutely loved it. And so then she asked me to join the business, and I said no. And then about 4 days later, I was kind of thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, well, just send me the information, I'll look at it. So she sent me the information, and I looked at the marketing plan and this company, and I've done network marketing before, and it just completely blew it out of the water. And when I realized it was only $50, I was like, really, like, why not do this? So I did it, and I kind of thought maybe I would cover my product. I didn't have any intention of working this like a business. I mean, I didn't really know. Like, I didn't know what could happen, right? So I kept hearing, you got to go to conference. Like, conference is so awesome, and it'll change your life. And, it sounded cool and everything, but I kind of put it in the back of my mind. But then I got my first big paycheck, and my paycheck pretty much was, so I'm a personal trainer. I teach fitness classes. I didn't say that. I work part-time just when my kids are at school, but I was probably putting in about 40 hours at the gym a month. It's not a ton, but it's time away from my family and fun in Hawaii. And I pretty much made the same paycheck doing Juice Plus that I made in a month being at the gym. And it really was like, dang, this could be really awesome, for my family. And since then, it's just completely blown up. Like Chrissy said, I had a Comma Club paycheck, and that was pretty amazing because I have a goal, and I'll talk about that later. And seeing that comma, coming towards my goal that I have was pretty cool. So when I got promoted to VF, you earn a free conference ticket. And again, I wasn't tracking conference. My daughter, so this was probably towards the end of March or early April, and conference was like the 20th or something. So my daughter was getting married on the 27th. We were in the middle of this huge PCS. So we lived in Hawaii. We're moving to Germany. So if any of you that are military, you're like trying to separate your stuff to be shipped, to not be shipped. You've got like 8 million suitcases. And we also were planning our 30th high school reunion. See, if you do the math, you'll know how old I am, which is next weekend. And I'm just thinking there's no way I can go to conference, but hearing everybody, I'm getting that fear of missing out again. And so I talked to Cassie one night at Solid Prep. I said, I think I need to go to conference. Like, I'm going to get back 4 days before my daughter's wedding, but I think I really need to go. So I went home and talked to my husband, and he said, go. And then later he said, I thought you were crazy. Like, you're getting home 4 days before Ashley's getting married. But I was like, well, if I'm not ready for the wedding then I'm never going to be ready. So anywho, I went, and I'm telling you right now that if you have not been to conference, you have to get there, because it showed me like the big picture of what this company is like. And even the girls that I now consider my friends, I'd only ever talked to them on Voxer. But when I showed up, it was like, I felt like I'd known them forever, And anyway, so I went to conference, and you get there and you listen to these national marketing directors give their speeches, and they're the same as we are. Like, they're stay-at-home moms, they're fitness professionals, they work 9-to-5 jobs. Like, there was nothing that I heard that wasn't, it made me think, you know what, I can be on that stage. And it's like super scary to think that, but these ladies' stories, and men, some super hot men, by the way, from from Australia. And I'm happily married 20 years. I'm just saying that to be funny. But anyway, it just made me see that if they could do it, then I can do it. And so if you can get to conference, like, seriously, you have to go to conference. But I've also heard from people that, well, you're a fitness professional, you have like this huge market to pull from, and people want to do what you're doing because you instruct them, and it's just come easy for you. And it really hasn't. Like, I've had, yes, some customers have come super easy, but I've also had to work to make this happen. So I just wanted to kind of give you what I feel like was successful for me. The first thing I did when I got home from conference was I read the book Go for No. And if you haven't read it, you got to read it. And the other one was, what's it called? Go for No and GoPro. Yeah. GoPro. I'm not done with it yet, but they're both super awesome, because you guys know it hurts when people tell you no, and it hurts when people ignore you, and it's super scary to reach out to people, especially family. I found that's the hardest part, family and close friends. But if you read the book, you learn to not take it personally, at least it might hurt at first and you just kind of blow it off. But those books really helped me change my vision So here's kind of what I did. When I got home from conference, I got organized. That's a big one. I seriously spent most of, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 hours one day. I got on Evernote and I made my list of 100. I know you guys have heard, write down your list of 100. I made my list. And it's been super fun to take the people off my list and move it to my customer list because my list is going down, you know? So I made that list. And if you say that you've exhausted your network, I can guarantee you that you probably haven't. And maybe it's people that you haven't talked to in a long time, but if you think about like, I compartmentalize my life through the military as those that are military spouses do. It's like, okay, when I lived here, I had this circle and, you know, I had this gym circle and I've got my preschool kids circle and like all these different people that were part of your life. Like those are your network. And it doesn't mean that you're, I don't know, just write your list. And then the other thing I did on Evernote was I made a current customer list. I know that we have like papers we can print out with our customer information, but I chose to have it online. And then if I can figure out how to share my screen, I'm going to show you. Okay, so let's see.
Is Evernote open already, Traci?
Yeah, it is.
So if you hit share screen at the bottom of your like Zoom screen, you should see a little green folder with an arrow pointing up.
Yeah.
Click on that.
Okay, I clicked that.
And then click on Evernote.
Oh, then I got to click on the right one. Okay, here we go. Share screen. Okay. Can you see that now?
Yep.
Okay. So this is a list of my customers and it's alphabetical. I start with their first name just because it's easier to remember. And what I did was I wrote their name, what they ordered, and then like why did they order? Like, do they have an issue? Are the kids picky? A health thing, whatever. And I made bullet points. And every time I talked to that person, I put the date and what we talked about, because I don't know if you have like a superhuman brain, but I don't, because I forget. So I might say, you know, like the other day even I had talked to a gal and I didn't write it down and I couldn't remember what date she wanted to delay her order to. So anyway, I just put, you know, everything that we talked about. If I sent them a video, I say what the video was. You know, if they join the Shred 10, I put that there. And so I just put all my customers on this list. And so I try to keep it updated. Like I said, I should have done this from the day one and I didn't. So it took me a long time. But so I try to keep that updated. So making that list. The other thing is reminders. So when I do, I can stop sharing my screen now. How do I go back? Let's see.
You should see an option. Okay.
Stop sharing. Okay. So everyone has a way to do reminders. You know, you've got it on your phone or your computer. Can you see my reminders? I don't know. It's probably glaring. There we go. Anyway, so if I like talk to somebody and I send them a video, I put a note on there to say, you know, follow up with Cassie on this date or whatever, because I forget. And then I have to like go to my Facebook messages and scroll through and figure out what I said to them or when I said it or, you know, my messages or whatever. So keeping reminders. So right now I have like add Llewellyn to salad prep, reschedule Vina's order, you know, call home office about Kathy. Like I have a list of everything that I need to do because I will forget. So getting organized was one of my biggest things. The other thing that was huge is being proactive. As much as people might think that people just busted my door down to order, they didn't. You know, I had some people that jumped on board, but I also reached out to those people on my list. I sent them messages. I didn't wait for them to come to me. I shared my story every chance I got with my friends, with my personal training clients, you know, and it's kind of awkward. I'm not super good at like just bringing it up, but if it presented itself, I shared my story with them. And I really relied on my upline. Cassie knows this. Like, I feel like I asked her a zillion questions and I still feel like I know absolutely zero. And I still ask her for verbiage, but you know, asking your upline for verbiage is huge because there is a right way to do it. And people with more experience than me know better. So I asked her a lot for help. And the other thing was using the mission-driven model or the new distributor packet that we get, because pretty much all the information is there. And, just really going through it and kind of knowing what's in the packet so that you can refer to it later. Because nothing's more frustrating than getting asked 5 times for the same exact video that your team has already sent to somebody. And so being proactive in the sense that, understand the material you have, bookmark things that you use all the time so you know where they're at, just being proactive for yourself, because eventually we're gonna have to teach our team how to do this, right? And so anyway, the other one is touching your business every single day. So we're in the middle of a huge PCS and we're in Washington with our family, but I log into my virtual office at least every other day, checking those alerts, and the business and the customer alerts, because things come up and you want to still be tracking your team and your customers that are shipping. We don't want to miss our customers' orders that are going out. So just being present in your business, because I could easily just not do anything while I'm on vacation, but then my business is going to suffer. In the last 10 days, I think I've done 3 salad preps, just reaching out to my family and my friends that I'm visiting and saying, hey, you want to have a salad prep? So just keeping those doors open and reaching out to people. So another thing that I do is follow up with customers. When we get those emails, that's your key to follow up with your customer. And remember how I said I got the Juice Plus and then I quit because I didn't have customer care? So I don't ever want to do that for my customers. So I'll reach out to them and see how they're doing, when those 30-day, 60-day, 90-day reminders come out. And what was the other thing I was going to say about that? And then send them something that is pertinent to them, like send them a video or something that you read that you think would interest them, so that they feel like they're connected, and that you're not just gonna, 4 months is gonna go by and then all of a sudden you're gonna be like, hey, you want to reorder again? So just keeping that relationship open. And then another one that was big is participating in your team's calls. So it took me a while to get on a pre-qualifiers call, but once I did it, I was like so glad I did, because there are people that are in the same boat as we are. Like there are struggles that I'm having right now, and when I share those with the gals that are on the call with me, they're like, oh my gosh, that's me too, or here's what I did. And so just knowing that this is a team effort and that there's people out there that are feeling the same way we are, and maybe what you have to say could really help somebody else out. So if you ever can join those calls, there's pre-qualifiers call, qualifiers call, there's the rep wrap, like there's all these things that we can benefit from. And that helps just build the relationship with our upline and our team. Like I said, when I showed up at conference, I felt like, Pam and Christy and everybody were like my friends, and I had never even met them before. And it was pretty cool. The other thing that is important that I kind of touched on is customer care. So, just making sure that you're targeting their lifestyle when you send them the videos, and you're keeping them engaged and checking in with them. Oh, another one that's big is, that customer genealogy report we get on Sundays. So I ignored it for a long time because I didn't really know how to read it. And I saw the key up there, and so I would scroll through and see things. Well, there's one gal kept having this D show up, and I look on the key and there's nothing that says D, and I'm like, what the heck is D? Well, it means decline. So it means that their credit card was declined, and I had ignored it for a while. And so she was sent to collections, and thankfully she's super understanding and they got it all worked out. But just understanding what that means and checking, like maybe when your customer's canceled and you don't even know. So just following up with that. Social media. So I basically built my business on Facebook. Yes, I shared it with my gym friends, but mostly through social media. And we talk about this all the time. Mitra talks about it. Christy talks about it. Creating curiosity. That was the biggest thing that I found with with Cassie, was I wanted to be her friend because her life looks so fun, and when she's posting this cookie dough or whatever, and she's not saying that it's Juice Plus, she's just saying it's healthy or whatever, like I want to know what that is. And that way you get people asking questions. And I don't I mean, I would say maybe once a month do I post something I do post, like if my customers' orders are going to ship, I put that out there because I think that too is another way that gets people interested. They're like, oh my gosh, like my friend just ordered from her. Like maybe I want to do that, or just seeing that people are ordering. But as far as like having a picture with actual Juice Plus product in it, I don't do it very often. Maybe once a month because, you know, we have those friends that have other network marketing where you see product placement like every single day, and it gets really disturbing and old. And also when people share things that are super long and wordy, I mean, even if it's not network marketing, if I see someone post something, I maybe will read the first 3 lines and then I just click out because I just am impatient and I don't have the time. So make people wonder, make them ask questions about what you're doing, and show yourself having fun and just living the life. Like, see Cassie sitting there in the sun. She could like put some fun little thing on Facebook about she's working her business right now at, you know, at the beach or whatever. And creating those clever hashtags, you know, those are pound signs from my day, but I'm learning to use hashtags because you can be super creative with it and it makes people read your posts. And know that people are always watching. So I've had a couple people, even though you might not be good friends with them, I have people that were like part of my fitness classes 4 years ago, and I never hear from them. I don't even really see their stuff on Facebook because you know how Facebook is. You kind of see the people that you communicate with. But I have had probably 3 or 4 people reach out to me out of the blue that just say, I've been watching you on Facebook and I want to know more. I had one girl, she's actually on my team now, and she said, I don't even know her. She's actually a friend of my son's. And she said, I want to be on your team. And I'd never talked to this gal before, but we were friends on Facebook, and she was just following what I was doing. And so even if people aren't commenting or liking, just know that they're seeing what you're doing, and you just never know at one point that you're going to impact them and maybe get them interested. Be authentic and genuine. Just be yourself. Don't try to be something that you're not. This was a big thing for me. So I'm going to get really personal right now and hopefully not get choked up. But both of my older kids, I have a 23-year-old and a 29-year-old the end of this month, did suffer. They were addicts, and we were kind of in the heart of it back in like 2012 with my daughter. And it super sucked, and it was hard, and it was scary, and it was sad, and, you know, all those kind of things. And I shared about it on Facebook because I think a lot of times our lives can look like super perfect and rosy, and they're not always that way. And so I was honest about what we were going through, and I had so many people, started to get like emotional. I had so many people reach out to me that just said, you know, I am in the same boat with my husband or my daughter or my son, or I used to be an addict and now I'm recovered. Like and these were people that were coming to my fitness classes that I had no idea. Like I didn't know their story. Like usually that's not really something you talk about. But I think it really, it solidified those relationships. And so I think if you're just like really honest with who you are, and I'm not saying you have to go out there and share like super private things, but just being honest with and authentic with your life and your posts on Facebook. And then the last thing is set big goals. So we were at conference, and on the last day we had to sit at the table with Christy, and we had to come up with goals for
high oils without having to listen.
We had to come up with goals for the next conference. And so we had to go around and say, you know, I want to be this, you know, level by conference, and I want to have this many clubs or whatever. And so I wrote down that I wanted to be sales coordinator, and then I wrote down that I wanted to be a 2 club. And Christy would get around to her, and she's like, oh, first Patton says he wants to be a 6 club. And she's like, Traci, you just need to like challenge Patton and put down 6 club. And in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to write it down, but it's never going to happen. But I wrote it down. And then when I got home from conference, I posted it. So I just had it right by my computer where I could see it. I wrote down the structure that I needed for sales coordinator. You know, I needed 2 VFs and a DD. And when I'd get those, I'd write it down so that I could see what I needed. I also made a little graph chart, just a colored in one. It was totally ghetto. but I put, I wanted 24 trio orders, and as I got them, I colored it off. And it was really fun to see, that go up and reaching my goals. And, I don't know if I'm going to be a 6 Club by Indy. It's not that far away. But the thing is that if I don't make it, so what? Like, don't be afraid of setting big goals, because you're going to be that much closer to your goals. Your business is going to be that much more successful. If I stay in 2 Club, it's still awesome. The thing that's been so huge for this, my family, is that, I didn't say this in the beginning, but I quit my job as a fitness instructor back in April because I wanted to enjoy my time left in Hawaii. I wanted to hang out with my friends. I wanted to enjoy my family that was there for my daughter's wedding. And I was able to basically make the same income having fun that I made, at the gym, spending all that time away from all the things that were fun. And now I'm in the middle of a PCS. I'm still getting a paycheck. I'm visiting with my family. I'm doing things like this. I'm doing salad parties. And it's just been a blessing to my family. And I'm like, why didn't I do this 5 years ago? It would have been so much better. But, just understanding, setting those goals. I watched the video on understanding our distributor genealogy report. They talk about lines 4, 5, and 6. Like, you want your, what number is it? Line 6 to be 1600. So I watched that climb, and I really worked to get that up to 1600, because if you can see the numbers going, like, it's kind of fun. Or if you're, working towards your VF, fill out that 2000 plus tracker. That way you see that, I'm only this many points away. Oh, look, I got another order. And, every order counts. And sometimes when you think, oh my gosh, I have to get 2000 points, it seems so like far off. But when you're tracking it and you're, you're watching yourself grow, then it just doesn't seem as hard. So just to kind of reiterate, like, be authentic, share your story with everyone that and just have fun. Like, I think you just have to have fun with this and work it like a business. And that's kind of that's my thing. That's my story.
Traci, mic drop. Seriously, thank you so much for sharing. I'm assuming people have questions, but I'm going to just be selfish and kick off with one. What has it been like to be able to work side by side with Cassie? Because you guys have just been like 2 peas in a pod, and to be able to have that energy, you said you wish you would have done it 5 years ago, but
right.
I don't know, you guys have something really, really special, the 2 of you, and how you've worked your events together. So what has that been like?
Well, I think that if I would have done it 5 years ago, it would have been different. The person that reached out to me wouldn't have been the same, and Cassie and I just really hit it off. And it's just being able to work with your friend. Like, it makes me super sad that I didn't have like another 6 months or a year in Hawaii, right? Because we just got started with this. But having someone that is your friend, that you can work with every day and brainstorm, and it's just awesome. So if you can lock arms with people that you really like, it's even better. I got my daughter on my team now, and I kind of like her. So she's here too, so I can see her there. It's just been great. So yeah.
Any questions for Traci?
Yeah, so I got to do a salad party with her yesterday, and I've always been really curious because I see what an amazing turnout you guys in Hawaii always have for salad parties, and I had just never, I've never embraced it. And I got to see Traci in action yesterday with the salad party, and holy crap, so simple. So Traci, tell everybody what goes into your salad in a jars, because I definitely over the last couple of years have overanalyzed the crap out of those things. And I'm like, what am I going to present if somebody asks a question? Where should my juice plus sit on the counter? I'm not even kidding you. I've been so uber paranoid about it. And seeing you in action yesterday, I was like, crap's sake, I need to be doing these every other day. These are so easy.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because in Hawaii, Cassie runs them, so I don't have to do anything. And I felt like it was a little different that I'm here with people that don't come to the salad preps all the time. Cassie doesn't really put out anything that's Juice Plus, and I think that's part of what drew me to her, because I didn't feel like I was pushing product. She did eventually talk about it, but because we do it every week there, obviously she's not going to say something every week that we're together. But because this was a one-time thing, I kind of felt like I needed to. And so honestly, it was yesterday was my second one that I actually did, but I basically
Okay, but you managed to get like a little bit of like your story, like why you like it, what your mission is, what the products are, and I think you even mentioned like a tower garden or something, like all within literally 5 minutes. So like literally there was like zero pressure there, and I was just really, really impressed by the information you got out with, like you said, like you were drawn to it wasn't a sales pitch, it wasn't like a preachy here, like here are all the facts and why you need to be healthier. Like, it was just so simple. And I think people really should hear that.
Well, I'm glad you think that, because sometimes when I feel like I'm talking about Juice Plus, you always wonder what they're thinking. Like, do they think that I'm being pushy or whatever? Oh, my phone's ringing, sorry. So basically what I did is I just thanked my sister for having me come. I said, that we work for this health and wellness company, that their mission is to inspire healthy living around the world. And we do that by hosting these healthy events where we're just trying to bring people together and, eat lots of fruits and vegetables and teach them about that. And then I just said, on the flip side, we're supposed to eat all these fruits and vegetables every day. And I don't know about you, but there's no way that I get that. And especially my kids, because they're even pickier than I am. And so, we have these capsules and gummies that are full of fruits and vegetables. And so I know that when my family takes these, that we're getting everything that we need, even though we don't always get it, in real food form. And I think that's all I said, really. And then I'm just like, okay, let's make some salads. But another one, I did my mom's the other day, and my mom is a happy customer. She tells everyone, but she also is super shy about having people feel like she's pushing product. So I promised her I would not say anything about Juice Plus. I didn't have anything out that said Juice Plus, but it came up. People ask, are like, what is in this protein ball? Like, it's so good. And so, it's still, the conversation comes up. So I think you have to be also just aware of what your host wants to do, because maybe that's not their comfort level, and just being okay with that, because I still reached a ton of people. They loved the salad prep. Even if they didn't know it was about Juice Plus, they loved it. And my mom's going to continue it. And I can guarantee you that Juice Plus will come up at some point with them too. So. Quiet.
Any other questions?
I've got a question. Sorry, I thought I was muted. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to show you my view? I'm not just kidding. Come back to Hawaii. Okay, so you've actually been super good at getting team members as well. What do you feel like, if anything, different than sharing the product and everything? How do you feel like you've been able to quickly get so many team members as well?
Well, I think one thing I didn't touch on was reaching out to scary people. There's going to be people on that you want on your team that you think are going to be rock stars and that are a little intimidating, like kind of how Cassie said about me. And I don't know why she felt that way, but it's scary to reach out to those people, but just doing it. And but also I just shared the story. And one thing that I think is good is, I have one girl that I'm working on. She is somebody that I really, really want on my team. And I've probably been sharing with her for 2 months. And I approached her about the product, and then she saw me at an event and asked more questions, and we kind of went back and forth. But I try to really not be pushy. If I reach out to somebody once or twice and they don't get back to me, I just leave it, because I don't want people to feel like I'm pushing it down their throat. And the funny thing was, 2 weeks ago, she messaged me out of the blue and said, I want to order, and I'm still working on her on joining the team. And so we'll see, but just sharing my story and looking through my customers and seeing who's super happy with their product and their experience, those raving fans, and reaching out to those people. And again, I've reached out to probably 5 or 6 of them. A couple have joined my team, but others are interested. They haven't said no. So, just keep reaching out and kind of playing off their vibe. Like if you feel like you're bugging them, just kind of backing off and then, just waiting for it to come around. Does that answer your question, Alan?
Yep, it does. Yeah. I think the other thing too, I'll add to this is that just from day one, I don't feel like you've held back on sharing the business at all. Like we are such a mission-driven and product. We have such a phenomenal product, and I think all of us love the product so much that we talk so much about the product, which is awesome. And of course, we want to do that. But I feel like you from day one have also shared the business opportunity. And so I think that has been a big contributor to you having such a successful team already too.
Well, one of the things that I didn't mention either is that, my favorite hashtag is never try, never know. And that's kind of how we were introduced to this in Thailand in a cooking class. And I won't get into that, but it was just about the gal's tagline was never try, never know. And it's totally true. Like, how do you know if you're going to succeed if you don't even try? It's scary sometimes. And yeah, you might completely fall on your face, but what's the flip side? That you might actually get a customer or a business partner, or you might, get on the volleyball team or whatever it is. Like, if you don't ever try, then you're never going to know if you can succeed. And I think that's just key in life and in this business too, is just go for it. Don't be scared.
Traci, what would you say to new reps? I'm seeing some new faces on here, brand spanking new. What would your advice be to them?
My advice would be to be honest with your upline about how you want to work the business. Because I do have people on my team that have been really honest that, they're super busy, that they just kind of want to do this on the side, or that they're just not ready yet or whatever. And that's totally fine. And then I don't have to feel like I'm ignoring them, and when they're ready, they can come. And getting really familiar with your new distributor packet or the mission-driven model, because honestly, everything is there that we need. And also the Shred 10 systems guide, when we go to do that, it says it step by step, like how to talk to people. And if they say this, send them this video. And if this, like, it's kind of a no-brainer. And sometimes, and I will say that in the beginning, and even now, I feel like I don't know much, and it can be overwhelming because there is a lot of information out there. But if you kind of just stick to a few little areas like mission-driven model, your distributor packet, the Shred 10 guide, those kind of things, like the information you need is there. And if you can't find it, just ask. But I would say get really familiar with those areas so that you can find what you're needing. And if you can't find it, then ask your upline, because they hopefully will know, but not always. I'm always asking my upline questions.
Any other questions? Going, gone? Nobody else? Well, I hope you guys got a ton out of this. I did. I'm motivated and inspired. People like Traci bring the energy for us too. So they say that the energy runs down the leash, but it certainly runs up too. So Traci, it's been an absolute joy having you on our team. It's been awesome seeing you, Cassie. You and Cassie work together, but it's also been incredible seeing you raise up new leaders in this business. And you're going to know this name, Traci LaRosa, because she's going big. Never try, never know. Team never try, never know, right?
I know, I'm going to have to make my own team or something, my own team hat.
Yeah, absolutely. You've been incredible. Thank you for stepping into this leadership role. I don't know what we'd be doing without you. Thank you for everybody getting on here too.
Thank you.
Night, everybody.